Bizarro World name for the show, but we're not going to say it out loud because I'll probably instantly get reported. So, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us, boys and goys. Welcome. Do you do that thing that you do?
Oh, what's going on, everybody? This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get the flying flock out. Back to
That's
you,
it.
senor.
Just so you folks know, we do talk about you before the show. If you wondered, oh, I wonder if Dee and Fumi talk about us before the show. Yes, we absolutely do. We 100% do. Usually good things, and then we laugh about it. But if you're, if you're a such and such and a so and so, oh, we talk about you. Absolutely right. And we laugh about you and stuff. We just kind of talk about how ridiculous some of you are. Hope you guys know that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thanks very much for joining us. Obviously, most of you are not ridiculous. Most of you are pretty cool people. Welcome, folks. What the f is I just made lunch a little bit ago, and I think I had some olive oil on my wrist. That's great. Now my table's all slidey. Fuck off. That's ridiculous. Whoop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So the show is for adults only, as Dee mentioned. Where I am, the rules are 21 and over. Please do follow those rules. Even though we're actually not talking about anything in particular right now, we are obviously talking about marshmallows, popcorn, corn in general, that kind of stuff. So obviously not even age-related stuff, but we're making sure that you guys do follow the rules. Please do be above 21 where I am, and of course, if it's higher or something where you are, please follow your local rules. Please do remember everything we're doing is above board. None of us is basically trying to break the rules in any way whatsoever. We're definitely not doing it on purpose, and we're definitely not trying to either. Ladies and gentlemen, what was I going to say? Most importantly, though, you guys are welcome to hop on the show. You guys are welcome to join us in the conversation. You guys are welcome to say hello in the chat. This is a very different show, probably, than you're used to on YouTube. I realize that I should probably clarify that more often. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the few shows, maybe not the only show, but one of the very few shows, I think, that talk about the kind of things that we'd like to talk about. Obviously, popcorn and stuff like that.
Mhm.
We talk about those things without judging you, without talking shit about you, without talking down to you, without basically expecting that you're already, I don't know, a Nobel Prize winner in cucumbering, whatever the fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome here wherever you are in life. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are, we're not going to shit on you as long as you come sincerely, as long as you come kindly. You
Hi.
are not going to
Good, how
get.
are you?
What's that, D? Oh, he's talking to
Oh,
someone
sorry,
else.
back to
I'm
you.
going to mute him for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, as long as you come, oh, okay, he unmuted himself right now. As long as you come correct, I guess is the expression, but I suppose that's more for fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, just don't come here to start a fight. Don't come here to start a fight and be a jerk off. I always say, be kind, be decent, be gentle at the end of the show. I should probably honestly say it at the beginning of the show as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hop onto the panel, you are more than welcome. This is one of the few open panels on YouTube anymore these days. Partly because it's just so difficult to run open panels, honestly. There's so many fucking wackadoodles that hop on. But ladies and gentlemen, as long as you don't act like a wackadoodle, you are actually welcome on this show. If you're an advanced grower, if you're a medium-term grower, if you're a beginner grower, if you have questions, if you have answers, whatever it is, you guys are all welcome to hop on here. We should be here for a little bit. The Wednesday show has been honestly a little bit difficult. This is the first time that this channel has been back for about a week and a half or something. So far, no one in the chat actually. So if we don't get a few people in the chat here, I'm gonna cut this stream and then go live on the other channel for a few minutes. And then if we don't get anybody, we're gonna bounce because these Wednesday shows lately are really, really difficult. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're not gonna fight upstream. We're just gonna find different ways to do things and be less frustrated. But in the meantime, if you guys do want to hop on here and say hello and join the conversation, you're more than welcome. Cheers to D Zombie, who's now number one in the chat. If you wondered, how do you become number one, number two, number three? Just literally chat activity, basically, is how you do that. So whoever's most active becomes obviously number one. Ladies and gentlemen, what was I going to say? So yeah, don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. Don't be a lunatic if you want to hop on the panel, ladies and gentlemen. Don't show your asshole or be an asshole, ladies and gentlemen. We've added even the further proviso. Don't be a dildo or show your dildo, ladies and gentlemen. That seems to be super redundant, obviously, but you'd be surprised how many fucking people do basically all three of those things at once. What am I saying? Goodness gracious, I'm not having a good feeling about this show. So far, nobody but D in the chat yet. We'll give it a little bit longer, I guess. We'll give it a little bit longer. But it is a little bit annoying because we can't show anything on camera right now. I was just going to say we're doing the special rules right now because, well, all one people of the people in the chat. Wave hello to the geriatric shitbag that continues to report my channels. Thankfully, he hasn't been able to the last couple three shows. Yes, exactly right. That's the right finger, D. I obviously can't show the right finger on the camera, otherwise I would probably get age restricted or reported. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a guy who particularly Boo Boo doesn't like me. He just really thinks that we are a fart in his sweatpants. Ladies and gentlemen, that might have been his breakfast, but you know he thinks it's us. Ladies and gentlemen, he keeps reporting. Thankfully, I am very very pleased to report that the last couple three shows, whatever it was, have been untouched. So we've been basically torturing them by small steps. Kind of amusing to me because they have to watch the whole show usually. A lot of times they would report us literally at the end of the show, like when I was gone, when Bud was gone, and for example, Captain would be super stoned and he would just ignore something that happened on screen or whatever, or they'd say something a little bit inappropriate. They would report the show for that basically at the end of the fucking show. So they were watching the whole show, hoping for something to report me on, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm pleased to report that those hours of torture for them are completely unproductive. So let's keep that up, ladies and gentlemen. What's he saying? I bet if you keep mentioning him, he'll just go away. I think so, hardcore. I think honestly, the how do I say this? Uh, the constant feeling of futility and also the constant feeling of being mocked is something that a kind of a narcissistic person cannot deal with. So if you haven't figured out, basically he's pretty egotistical. Being mocked is something that, for example, our dear Orange leader cannot handle. Even I wouldn't say that, for example, this particular guy is necessarily a malignant narcissist or anything like that, right? But they just do not like being mocked. They just do not like being made a fool of. I think it's delightful. I think it's delightful to make fools of people. I mean, it's funny sometimes to make a fool of someone, even yourself. But some people can't handle it. So, hardcore, this has been a real issue for me. So I know that perhaps you don't realize that. Hardcore, you live in a different universe. That's perfectly fine. I invite you on my show. You're perfectly entitled to not come if you don't like me or anything else. But if you're just goofing about it, if you're just wondering on the serious, this has been a real issue for me. It really, really has. It's made me many times think about completely leaving YouTube, giving up cannabis, everything else, because it's just been so much fucking bullshit for so long. So I'm done with it. I'm basically done putting up with it, and from now on, I'm just going to make fun of those people. And if that one particular guy goes away, if the rest of them went away, I'd stop talking about him. But if they don't go away, oh, I'll be happy to mock them for the rest of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about? We should probably put a link in the chat here. Copy invite link. Boom. Here we go. What's up, Red Setter? Cheers, buddy. Welcome to the show. I was going to say Shizzo, but no, I don't know why I would say Shizzo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. I've already switched to live chat. You should switch to live chat as well so that you get a little bit less filtered chat experience. You get to see, for example, Hardcore's poop emoji. Is that filtered out in top chat? It's not. You could see it in either one. So never mind. But you wouldn't know. Okay, what changed? Not much changed. When I switched from live chat to top chat, to be honest, in this particular chat, not much changed. But when you do switch to live chat, ladies and gentlemen, the chats come in the order that they were received instead of getting filtered by YouTube. Sometimes YouTube shadow bans people and stuff, and I don't even know why that is, but live chat filters them less. By the way, folks, if you, how do I say this? If your comments are not showing up, 99% chance I did not do anything to them. Please let me know. Please let me know. Something's going on. Either you somehow got shadow banned. There may not be anything that I can do about that because I didn't cause the shadow ban. Or maybe in the past, people have gotten accidentally, or it's a whole long story, intentionally by some trolls gotten banned. That's why we don't have all blue names anymore, by the way. If you wondered, we used to have basically all freaking blue names, right? Anyone that became a regular, we would like do this whole knighting ceremony. It was all fun, right? Just goofy, right? But anyway, a couple of those people ended up literally after the shows banning people essentially. And overnight, I had like, I don't know, 150 or 200 people in my ban list. All kinds of people, some of which that I've never seen back again after I unbanned them. They probably thought that I was an asshole. And they were like, well, okay, Femi, I guess if you don't like me, I'll never come back. Ladies and gentlemen, that was some ignorant bitch shit, honestly, from the trolls that did that to me, and did that to the people that they banned. Really, like if they could feel shame, I feel like they would die of it. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen, because some of those people that got banned were some of the nicest people that I could imagine. And some of them I haven't seen again. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them you don't have a contact detail for and stuff. Anyway, Ladies and gentlemen, if you did get shadow banned, I often forget to mention this. Please let me know. If you ban, if I got, if, or how do I say this? If I ban you, you will know. There's not a question about it. It's not like, oh, I wonder if you banned me. No, 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 no. I will fucking tell you that you are going to get banned, that you are getting banned, that we just banned you, etc., etc. You're going to know. It's not going to be some kind of a mystery. You know what I mean? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't hear from the words in my mouth from my face hole that you got banned, that means that you're not actually banned. And please do let me know. Or let D know, for example. Hit us up on Discord, hit us up on Instagram. D's given the thumbs up. Exactly. Discord works really well. What else? Yeah, hit us up in the well, you can't hit us up in the stream if you're shadow banned, but you get the idea, right? There's obviously ways to do it. By the way, as always, email me fumador@chronictable.com, questions, comments, concerns. If you have been shadow banned or anything else, if you got questions about, God damn it, I'm getting a brush. Uh, I hate to say it, I did order it on Amazon because the best place for me to get zigzag papers is friggin' Amazon. So I did the buy over $35 and like, finally, I'm gonna get a fucking brush for this dog. Couldn't have been better timing because literally touching him, here, I promise you, touching him, and there's already that much fur. Oh, you probably can't see it, but there's like a fucking cloud of fur from this fucking guy. You fucking asshole. Like, what is it? I guess it's his winter coat stuff because he's like half husky. So I guess where he's from, they would already do him in their winter coat already. Dude, I could make a second dog from all the fur that he's released in this last couple days. Anyway, boys and girls, what was I talking about? I was babbling about all kinds of incessant things. Was I getting to a point? Oh, I was just mentioning that I forgot to say, hey, if you guys have gotten shadow banned or whatever, please let me know. Uh, we're turning a corner, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, that's kind of the philosophical thing. This hair just suspended in the air here. We're turning a corner on all the fucked head trolling. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it's been kind of leading me by the nose for 3, 4 years now, because I was going through some private stuff in my own life that a lot of people know how difficult it can be. But beforehand, honestly, it stretched on for a couple of years, right? Because sometimes breaking up relationships, it takes a few years, right? So it was a difficult time, and I allowed some of the really worst behavior on YouTube to seep into my show, and honestly, to kind of rot my show from the inside. It essentially, I think Dee would agree with this, it effectively, maybe a different generation of the trolling, ruined my Discord, basically, and then essentially, whatever, it continued, and we never really excised the rot. At one point, I was going to be very
Yep.
dramatic. I was going to shut down the Discord and da da da. I just fucking changed my mind, I guess, because I was lazy or something. And ever since then, I've never really done anything with it, but I've also never really purged the rot. I talked over you, D. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just agreeing with you, Creamy.
Oh, right on. Cheers. That's obviously why D is here because he always agrees with me. I'm kidding. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for example, we don't agree on the Royals. That's one of the big ones. D is a big fan of the Royals. I'm not a big fan of the Royals. So you can see that we don't always
Well,
agree.
being Scottish hair, it's my Scottish heritage.
It's your Scottish heritage. Wait, your Scottish heritage, you would have to be anti-royalty. You'd have to be pro,
No, no.
what was her name? You'd have to be pro Mary Queen of Scots. You'd have to be pro Mary Queen of Scots, but super anti the German Windsor family, right? Because the Scots,
Yeah.
I laddie, not the friggin' Germans. My Scottish is not very good.
Beam me up, Scotty.
But that's it. I focus on warp drives, ladies and gentlemen. Focus on the warp drives.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, cheers, folks in the chat. Ned's in the chat. Welcome, buddy. Of course, Red Setter's hanging. Good to see you, buddy. He's saying, grateful to have enough in life, keeping me busy, to not be a troll or argue with strangers. What a great statement, Red Setter Farm. And if you don't know Red Setter Farm, I've never had the luck to meet him personally. I almost got a chance to meet him personally when I was in Michigan, but apparently it fell through. But from everything I've ever seen about the guy, chill, super cool guy, grows super good weed, ladies and gentlemen. So always a cool guy to listen to. Has a nice, I'm not gonna blab about his goddamn life, but he has, family and everything else. He has stuff to do in his life, things to cherish, things to look forward to, things to enjoy, right? Memories that he's had. Gosh, many of us remember not only his dog now, but his old dog Diogi. Ladies and gentlemen, this is somebody who literally has enough in his life that keeps him too busy to be a fucking troll. And I think it's a very, very interesting statement. And it's something if you didn't have much going on in your life, because not everybody has, for example, a family or whatever else, right? And that's just how life works, right? It's not something to be envious of or anything. It's fucking how life works, you know? You could find things to fill that life with. You could literally, at any time in your life, this is something I think a lot of people forget. When you're young, when you're middle-aged, when you're old, it doesn't really matter how old you are. I guess not when you're a baby, you can't really control yourself. But when you're any other age except for a child, you have the capacity to fill your life with joy. If your life is empty, then it's so much easier to fill it up with good things, right? Because you already don't have things you have to crowd away. If your life is filled with terrible things, then you'd have to replace the terrible things with good things, right? That might be a lot of work. I realize that. But if your life is essentially empty, and I think a lot of trolls' lives literally are empty. I don't think a lot of trolls lead bad lives. I think a lot of them, certainly the ones that I know of, they live relatively well. They own their own houses. Many of them have enough money. They don't have to worry about food, etc., etc. Many of them have pets. Like these are people that actually have lives, and so I think just that's their hobby because they're emotionally empty. I think perhaps I don't know. I may be psychoanalyzing a little bit too much, but I'm just marveling at what a simple statement it is and so accurate. Fill your life by proxy, because obviously, if you don't have things in your life, fill your life with joyful things that will occupy you, that will keep you maybe from the disposition to troll, perhaps, right? What an interesting statement, Red Setter. There's always wisdom in your comments, buddy. Not trying to shine him on. He's like, "Whoa, shit, bro. What are you fucking doing?" No, 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 buddy. Seriously, enjoy your comments. J5's in the house. J5 saying, I had to teach your mama how to drive stick. Had to put it all the way up in sixth gear. J5 is also saying something sounds dank as fuck. I don't know what he was talking about. He was talking about Hardcore's talking about acting cool driving his mommy's drop top Mustang right now. Hey baby, you want to hop into my mom's car? I mean my car. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. VT's in the house. Welcome, buddy. He's saying hi. J5 says,
Hello.
life is beautiful. Life is a struggle. Life is a beautiful struggle. Yeah, man, often true. Red Setter Firm says, cheers, female. Always happy to see the show. Right back at you, buddy. All this time, did I fucking forget to post the link? No, I did post the link right on. There we go. We'll post it again, folks. You guys are welcome to hop on here. It is not supposed to be a monologue of Fumidor because I could just do a different show that was basically the monologue Fumidor show, right? So this is literally supposed to be a conversational show. It's meant to be a show for you guys to hop on, join the conversation, interact, tell us about what you guys are doing these days. I hate to say it, for the moment, we really can't talk specifically about roses, petunias, gardenias, that kind of thing, growing those kinds of flowers. We can't talk about puffing popcorn or marshmallows, for example. You know what I mean? Not specifically, indirectly, perhaps we could talk about it. We can't show it on camera. So if you want to puff some popcorn on camera, for example, I really enjoy popcorn, right? I really love to just munch on buttery popcorn. If you want to puff on popcorn on the show, show an avatar. We're gonna do. Oh, we never did actually decide what day. Maybe we're gonna try to do it on Saturday. So let's shoot for this Saturday. I don't know why I'm being non-committal about this because I feel like I have something going on Saturday. All right, pending further review or something. I don't know. Somehow, maybe I'll try to make a notice in the community page or something, or maybe I'll completely forget it and we'll do it next week. We're gonna try to do an audio visual help hour for the first, for the pre-show, basically, before D Zombie usually does a pre-show on his channel, D underscore zombie 745 or D zombie underscore 745. Fuck, now I'm forgetting.
Yeah, but we can just do it on yours. It'd probably be easier.
Easier in the first place right now. But what is your channel, by the way?
Oh, G zombie underscore 745,
I was
I
right the
think.
second time, I think. Yeah, D zombie underscore 745.
Yeah,
So normally
exactly.
that's D does the pre-show. Ladies and gentlemen, instead of that, we're going to try to do an audio-visual help episode, basically. Not an episode. It's just basically like come on an hour early, pretty much. We'll start the show at 7. We might even not broadcast it live. I'm debating because I think a lot of people
Yeah,
in the chat might kind of want to join us or something. So I'm not 100% sure how we'll do that. But we may just do the first hour not live, basically. Maybe
hmm
maybe what I'll do is I'll go live for a couple, 3, 4 minutes. What's up, hardcore? I'll go live for a couple, 3, 4 minutes. That's an interesting view. You got a sunroof. Oh, that's the Mustang he was talking about. Right on, dude. We'll go live for a couple, 3, 4 minutes or whatever, or even just post a video and say, hey, we're gonna be at this private Zoom room. Here's the link. Hit the link if you guys want to work on audiovisual shit, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to help you with the fucking microphones. We're going to help you with your headphones. We're going to help you with whatever the problem you have is. A lot of people say they can't hear us. Sometimes we can't hear them. Sometimes their sound cuts in and
What?
out. There may not be a solution to some of these problems, but I bet you there are some solutions to these problems. So, folks, fuck, I got dog hair on my nose. That's the problem with this dog. The hair just gets everywhere. And it's like these like spiral, they're too small, so I can't show you, right? So they're like these, they're not straight hairs like my old dogs used to be. They're like these fucking, what do you call them? Zigzag curly cues. If it was a
Yeah.
fucking a fish hook, you'd never be able to pull it out, right? Or an arrow. Oh my God, so freaking annoying. I think that's the undercoat. I think that's the husky undercoat. Anyway, what am I freaking babbling about? So yeah, long story short, Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, an hour beforehand. If you don't even know for sure that you want to actually be on the show, if you just want to say hey or whatever, that would be a spectacular opportunity because, like I said, I don't think we're going to be live for the majority of it. We'll probably go live for a couple minutes, DM me, and then we'll hop off and we'll have a private Zoom room. Nobody will fucking see you. Nobody will see your scream. But long story short, nobody will see your
We have
unwashed
ways of
beard or
making you
whatever.
talk.
That's right. We have ways of making you talk, Lebowski. Ladies and gentlemen, super good opportunity, I think, even just to say hello, but especially if you've been wondering, oh, how the fuck do I get this goddamn phone to work or whatever the shit. Now's the time. Perhaps some people have talked about Smashed. I don't know how many times it's said, or a couple other people have said, "Oh, I got these whole headphones," or maybe it was Silent Truth was saying, "Oh, I got these plug-in headphone microphone thingies," but he's never had time to use them. I don't remember which person it was, but somebody was saying that, maybe in my imagination. That person, that imaginary friend of ours, can hop on and figure out how to work the thing. And of course, if one of us talks to that person, none of the rest will realize that we discovered schizophrenia. I'm joking, ladies
Uh,
and gentlemen. It's probably not a funny joke. But ladies and gentlemen, Red Setter Fred, cheers, Joseph Anthony. Good to see you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Red Setter's saying, I'm all torso. I have legs of a troll. Uh, that reminds me of Super Troopers. I'm all highway. Farva says that. I'm all torso as he's covered in powdered sugar. Uh, it's delicious. The police chief, the city police chief, they're pretending to delouse him or whatever. He's like, it tastes delicious. It's powdered sugar. It tastes delicious. So I can't remember how he said it.
Come on.
What are we at here? Cheers, D. Red Setter Farm says, I swept up a Shih Tzu worth of golden setter hair this morning. Jesus fucking Christ, I know what you're talking about. I'm like, dude, I got to start a dog fur pillow business or some shit.
Yeah.
Uh, what are we at here? I'm just pressing all the wrong buttons, which is not what your mom said. She said, oh, you're pressing all the right buttons.
Ew.
Ladies and gentlemen, do hop on. We're still going to be here hopefully for a little bit. We're enjoying Hardcore's driving savvy. He's out there. He got the driving gloves on and everything. Got the race shoe. Oh, he doesn't got that. He doesn't have the driving gloves. Right on. But he's got the sick ride, the
Mr.
whip, as they
Selleck?
say. That's right.
Mr. Tom
Look at that
Selleck?
expert turning it sideways. Your mom likes it when we turn it sideways.
I'm gonna change his name. Can I?
You're gonna change Hardcore's name to
I was,
Speedy
I was gonna put it
Gonzalez.
to, no, I was gonna put it to Tom Selleck, but is it as long as the car is red?
That's it.
It has to be red.
That's it. He's a big time avocado farmer. I wonder if he does avocado tech. Nobody talks about avocado tech anymore. Cheers, bud.
Hey, bud.
Oh, he's still hooking up a little bit.
Lake is 21 miles around, so it'd take me a while to go around it.
It's pretty though. Who's chat texting me?
No, it's not that.
Oh, right on.
I'm like, hook this shit up to fucking this shit.
Oh, fucker.
Huh,
Fucking later.
It's gloomy.
interesting.
Canada's throwing all this smoke over here.
I was thinking about that yesterday. Several of you guys were talking about it. Smash, a couple other guys on the East Coast, a Pats fan, were talking about how crazy red the sun was, and I was like, oh, I kind of didn't know what you were talking about
Yeah.
because it hasn't been that way here on the West Coast. Well, don't forget we're 5,000 miles across. How big is the U.S.? 3,000 and a half. Long, long distance. And I guess you have massive fires up in Canada right now, right? And by the way, we had the
Yep.
same thing a few years ago, so I know what you're talking about with it, like just blood. It looks like Mordor. The fires of fucking Mordor or some shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a picture. That's not mine. But I don't think she'd mind me showing it.
Is it of your mom? Cheers,
Yeah.
drink of his kind.
I wish
You
that was
know,
my
it,
mom.
when I first got on, Hardcore had a side mirror, and I was like, it, it maybe that's exactly how my side beer is with the other little insert beer. Exactly. I was like, holy shit, it looks like mine. All right, I'm nervous because I'm 2 o'clock. I got cardiologist
Uh-oh.
appointment
Uh-oh.
where that's just I guess some like CT. I don't know. So, because the last week when I went, even though it's weird. I was just telling my friend. I told the doctor when she prescribed, which I was like, yeah, I really don't want to take any pharmaceutical. She's like, well, you should be on a statin for my cholesterol. The L cholesterol's a little high, Crestor. And I can't believe I said this to her. I said, yeah, well, like I basically told the story of my friend Scott who had a heart attack and died in his sleep. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And if you give me some medicines that are gonna like prolong my life, maybe that's not like what I'm like. She's like, wow, that's heavy. No one's ever said that to me. I basically it's like, yeah, because the statin's supposed to like keep you from having a heart attack or stroke or whatever, because of the cholesterol. I'm like, yeah, but that could put me in a situation that I'm like hoping to avoid, like, you know what I mean? And she's like, wow, that's heavy. But I took it. I didn't Google the side effects, but
So I wonder about this sometimes because I think a lot of again, it's not even our generation. We're different generations, but I think a lot of the most recent generations are kind of I don't know what's the expression, but anyway, they're starting to be almost nihilistic about the future. That they think that everything is going to be worse basically in the future, and they kind of want to avoid it for one reason or another. I don't know. Is that how do I put this?
yeah, my young trimmer, yeah, he has like he thinks it's we're just in a bad phase, but it's gonna turn around and be better than the past, which I'm a skeptic and
I
kind
actually
of
agree
think
with your
that we
trimmer, believe it or not.
gluttonized in my lifetime, like 70s, 80s, 90s a bit. Like, yeah, Americans especially, we were just like, what do you call it? I remember there used to be a thing on the news
Gluttonous, yeah,
every
that was a good
year
word for it.
about like how many people from the rest of the world compared to one American as far as like consumption and all that. Like we were proud of it. That like we, you know, uh, which I don't know, maybe a lot of it's all based on the tech, which I'm not sure the tech's gonna like. Eventually, the tech's gonna be for the people that are on the upper. It's not just money, but upper side of things, where the average person is just going to be an end user of it. Most
I
people.
actually disagree, bud. I think that I think it's very, very, very easy to be nihilistic, and I think this nihilism has kind of pervaded our society at this point, to the point that a lot of people don't think there is such a thing as hope. They think that basically climate change is inevitable. A couple of the big guys that have been talking about climate change the last few days have basically admitted that they've given up hope recently, on and on and on.
No, I'm
And
I'm
these are
not on
all
that
definitely
boat.
scary things. And
I'm
how do
on
I
that
say
boat.
this? We're obviously descending into authoritarianism in this country. I saw a clip on Reddit today from what's her fucking name? Rachel Maddow. Probably, I don't watch cable TV, so I don't know. MSNBC, I think, is her channel.
Yeah,
She was
that's
talking about
it.
how now not only are we descending into authoritarianism, it's actually here already. And she basically talked about it for 5 or 10 minutes. Clip worth looking into, honestly. But you got to remember that all empires end, and every single authoritarian dictatorship that has ever existed ended in a catastrophe, just a catastrophic explosion. Unfortunately, in many cases, it obliterated the society that it was involved with. So that's a bad sign for us. But every single dictatorship ends up either eating itself or getting eaten, basically, by the people who get fed up with it, because just by their nature, they are incompetent. They physically cannot be competent. So
Oh, I
that
think we're good.
actually is almost a good sign in the sense that it's the death rattle of an old system, because basically that's what it is. The French call it the ancien régime. My fucking French is terrible these days, but the ancient regime, basically. And the ancient regime, a lot of times, it's been it will have been disempowered. It'll have been taken out of control. They'll have lost most of their fucking abilities, but they'll come back because they have enough friends in power. They'll come back and they'll fucking strangle whatever, the French Republic or the US or whatever country that they're in as their last dying gasp. But again, because authoritarians are always incompetent, and I mean always incompetent by their nature, they end up failing and a new system gets born. So basically, the fact that this country kind of is essentially death rattling into authoritarianism probably is a good sign, because when you talk about the people who supposedly are these great, like, they call Peter Thiel now like Sauron or whatever. The dude is not all that bright. When you hear him speak, like, yeah, he's a fucking evil guy and shit, but he's obviously not all that bright and everything else. So he's one of those guys. He's not going to be able to rule the world. He's just not going to be able to. None of these fucking people really are smart enough to be able to rule the world, basically. So effectively, they're gonna fail, and the rest of
Well,
us will take over. And you have to remind yourself, but you have to remind yourself, Ben, when's the last time you were hungry? I mean, really hungry, truly
uh,
hungry. Probably never in your life, right? I mean, maybe when you were a kid or something, maybe on dead tours, between shows or something. But basically, you talked about how all you had to do is fucking sell some grilled cheeses and stuff. We don't live in a very bad society. Most of us don't live in scarcity. Most of us don't live, again, the US has a lot of problems with medical debt and everything else, but most of us still don't live in the kind of scarcity that would indicate a truly hopeless future. And a lot of
well,
us
and then they
do. A
always
lot of us do have
report
problems,
that like
medical debt and everything
kids
else, but it's
in
not a
our
hopeless future.
country
Go ahead.
are hungry, like or there's
I
always a
agree. No, I
stat that.
agree. I agree.
But then in
Even
history,
Oregon, even
you
the
know
state of
a
Oregon has something like,
better history than me. But my uh, view of it is, it when empires collapsed, or when most of the time the root of that was when the rich got so rich that the rest of
Yeah,
everybody revolted, right? Right? I said, fuck this, right? Either beheaded them, or it just broke down. Where that's kind of like where I so I kind of feel the United States is. I don't know where we go from here, right? Like we we don't like we basically just consume. We buy shit. We most like uh I don't know how, like, fundamental. Why there's things that I think we could do, like break up the conglomerates, uh, um, try to bring back some of the uh, manufacturing or small business. But yeah, the powers that be, I'm not so sure they're going to let that ever happen. But
I think the ship on manufacturing has sailed. And at this point, if you were to bring back manufacturing, it would only ever be automated. And so basically, the plants that, oh my God, you got your iPhone made in Texas, the whole plant will have 5 employees that manage 10,000 robots. You know what I mean? So it really doesn't help anybody that way. So we definitely do have to redo the economy essentially so that people don't get left behind and everything else. I'm not disagreeing with you in any way. What am I trying to say? Um, Even look at Germany, for example. I mean, Germany was a terrible example because the world basically had to fight them into submission. But even fucking Germany basically turned it around, and they are a thriving democratic country right now. Nobody serious could ever say that Germany
and
isn't
by far
democratic.
the most environmental conscious, uh, one of them,
Yeah,
right?
if they're not the most, they're one of the most, 100%. Everybody has solar
Yeah.
panels, windmills, you
Where,
name it.
yeah,
Every farm has solar panels on it.
everyone,
Uh,
more
they
countries
they
followed
have
suit, especially us.
they'll peer
That would
pressure
really
each other.
change
You've
things.
talked about this. Neighbors will peer pressure each other if you throw
Yeah,
away too much garbage. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but they're a relatively small country, even though they're committed to it. Not many other countries are
And
like
they are a
Georgia.
very small country. I think that Germany is just a little bit bigger than Oregon, and it's smaller than Texas. Now, Texas is a big state, granted, but the entire country of Germany with 85 million people is smaller than Texas.
Yeah.
We're in shale
And
country,
one of the
boy.
like my friend Gary like points out that be- uh, the immigration thing there's like way crazier than here because they what do you call it brought like allowed people to come from the basically the Middle East by the droves and uh, it semi like upset the balance of the population. It's you know,
Some of
but
that is
that was like
overblown. I know what he's
legally
talking
done.
about, and it is a really complex story because I remember many years ago when I was in Vienna for a couple of years for school, it was already dead. Now, granted, there's a lot of wonderful, for example, Turkish is the majority or was the majority anyway then of immigrants. Most Turks are Muslim. I mean, obviously not all Turks, but most Turks are Muslim. And my roommate, coolest guy you could possibly imagine, honestly, coolest possible guy. But how do I say? He and I honestly talked about back then about the Turkish communities that essentially wouldn't assimilate. And so, for example, some of his fellow, I guess you would call them exchange students because they weren't immigrants, they were exchange students. Some of his fellow students that came from like Eastern Turkey, he came from Istanbul, and he always considered himself a very cosmopolitan person, basically. And Istanbul is a used to be Constantinople and so on. It's a world city, right? They always consider themselves very, very, very sophisticated and cosmopolitan. It's a super city of culture, et cetera, et cetera. But Eastern Turkey, they like to think of themselves as the salt of the earth. And a lot of times you'll even see differences in the way that they eat. So my friend, my roommate, basically, Mehmetcan, he ate with a fork and a knife because in Constantinople, they literally taught the rest of the world how to eat with forks and knives. It was either a princess from Constantinople, or I can't remember who it was, who was the first princess that went to a court and brought her own fork. That was in like the fucking 1400s, basically. Anyway, long story short, in Istanbul, they eat with a fork and a knife. Well, in Eastern Turkey, even in Ankara, which is basically the middle of Turkey, they'll oftentimes eat communally around kind of Arab style, literally. They'll sit on the floor or they'll sit around a table perhaps, and they'll basically have the bowl of food in front of everybody, and they'll have bread for each person, basically in a little napkin or something as a place setting, and everyone will basically use their right hand to communally grab into the bowl. Which, for example, my friend Mehmetcan thought was fucking barbaric shit, basically. It's very, very interesting. The same culture. Like they're both Turkish, but one guy from Western Turkey thinks that the guy from Eastern Turkey is a fucking barbarian because of the way they eat.
What a
Anyway,
weirdo.
long story short, there's been these different groups that have assimilated now, or not assimilated in some cases, into Europe,
So,
gone to Europe. And in many cases, they are quite insular communities that only speak in Arabic, for example, like the Syrian immigrants, they will only speak in Arabic. The women wear the full-on abayas and so on, which in many cases just kind of honestly verboten in the rest of the fucking, like in France, it used to be forbidden actually to wear a face covering. Anyway, it has been, to say the least, it's been a fucking upset, basically. So what I was going to say though is that for the most
Okay.
part, Europeans are exaggerating. Actually, Canada and the US, and I think also Australia, have higher immigration rates. So it's not like they, oh my God, they've been taken over by the such and such. That is a little bit of a right-wing talking point, to be honest. But there, it is true that these communities have completely upset the balance.
Well,
When you talk
one thing
to
that's
teachers,
different.
for example, when you talk to teachers, like I don't know, just school teachers basically, they have huge problems in even just communication or cultural issues between, for example, in Germany or in Austria, the whatever, the European kids, I guess you could call them, and the immigrant kids. Not really a more delicate way I can think of to say that right now. But long story short, for example, the Syrian kids, they will be completely, first of all, they don't speak German, they'll speak German or Arabic, and so you can't even communicate with them. On and on and on. You can Google this stuff. There's
Pfizer.
interesting discussions about this online. Go ahead.
Well, like another thing, I mean, I call it like our one of our like dirty secrets. Like most, like at least the south or south of the border immigration thing is like labor. Period. Like labor that is crucial to the functioning of uh, our food supply, a bunch of things, right? Where like in Germany, that's not they're not the like it's not like oh they're immigrants, so they but have they're not the underbelly of the labor system. You know what I'm
No, they very
saying?
much are
Like,
the labor underbelly. I don't know where you got that. The
well,
Turks
but
came to
no, but they're
Germany as
legal,
so-called
so they get
Gastarbeiter, which
paid.
means
You
guest
know,
workers. Pardon?
yeah, well, yeah, a lot of countries use, like my
And
girlfriend Nina is in Abu Dhabi.
until essentially the millennium, many of those Turks, even their kids, were still considered Gastarbeiter. They don't have basically native uh, what is it, jus sanguinis or whatever, basically, or no, jus solis, jus sanguinis, essentially. Basically, in the U.S., if you are born on American soil, which our fucking dear leader is trying to change now, if you're born on American soil, you instantly have American citizenship. If you are born, I think it's in the UK, there's a few countries in the world that do that. For the most part, though, most countries, it's the law of the blood. So if you have, for example, German blood, you are allowed to be a German. So, for example, if your parents were German, doesn't matter where the fuck you were born. You could have been born on the moon. You're allowed to. But can you move your camera down a little bit? We can only see the very top of your head. If you,
Um, I'm
that's okay.
trying to
Uh,
stay
oh,
low
you're trying.
pro.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Go
Carry on
ahead.
then. A German, basically, if they're born in Botswana to Germans, they can apply for German citizenship.
Yeah.
They don't get it immediately, but they can apply for it, and it's a
Well,
foregone
Gary,
conclusion.
my friend, is dual citizen. His dad was a service in the in the army or whatever, and mom from over there. But he's had dual citizens since like his parents. I don't know how, but now that he's older, that's like a good thing to have. Like, well, one, he inherited his mom's apartment complex and some assets over there,
Hmm.
which if you're not uh yeah, the dual citizenship allows him to function over there. Like he's even building a new new property. Yeah, that would be almost impossible if you weren't like dual citizen, or it would cost more money. And Robbie and him they're American all the way, but I think Robbie, he's younger. He's going to end up moving out of Ukiah and over to Europe. Like he's spending more and more time there, and just says it's you know there's more light, there's energy. It's
Hmm.
not as have and have nots. Or I mean, there is everywhere, but
Even in small towns, it's dude. Can you chill out, please? My dog's kind of being an annoying puppy. Sometimes he just is a little bit too much. Um, fuck was I gonna say? Like little towns will have cultural centers and stuff, and so basically, like in the I don't even know, in a town of 5,000
well,
people, they'll have basically a community center that isn't just a shithole that doesn't do anything. They'll actually put on concerts that people actually go to, that they're good enough to go to. They'll do community events and everything. They
yeah,
sponsor local
keep
artists. Like
keep it
I
like
hate to say it, but
local a
most
bit.
of Europe has a kind of different vibe to do things. You know, in the US, like you say, it's very much just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We don't give a fuck. And so when you drive through small towns, there is no art. There's nothing going on. Literally everything is closed after 8 o'clock except for McDonald's and Jack in the Box. There's nothing to do except you'll every single time you go through a small town, you see people literally standing in the parking lot of a Rite Aid because that's the only place they have to meet. I mean, the city might even have parks, but the parks a lot of times will be fucking closed, and so they'll meet in the parking lot. There's literally nothing to do other than drink or
Well,
fucking just bullshit.
when like the Walmart age or the all that started happening, it was mainly in the areas of population. But at this point, even small towns are like hooked into the big distribution model, the uh, like local economy. We basically don't so we let it die for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, even
No, you're right.
Northern California over the years.
You'd think that small towns would be the places that small businesses survived in the US. I think it's completely the opposite. I think that large cities are the only places where small businesses survived. Because if you go to Los
Well,
Angeles, you will see the least amount of corporate shit you've ever seen in your life. Very shockingly. I
yeah,
mean, it always
San
surprises me
Francisco
every time I
too.
go there. mom and pop taco shops, mom and pop fucking Korean restaurants, mom and pop this, mom and pop pharmacies, mom and pop fucking dry cleaners. Every fucking business you can imagine, drive by, drive by, drive by. Streets all the way up and down the city are owned by individual people. But as soon as you leave LA, Rite Aid, Walgreens, fucking Walmart,
Well,
Target, etc.
I've been going up to Northern Cal since like 81 and chose to live down here, but I always said I like the little towns uh back when uh cannabis was the engine of most of the life up there. But in over these last few years, those same places are like uh, emptied out, deserted. Half the main street doesn't even have uh, business, um, mainly because you messed with the economy. I haven't heard anything about it lately, but the three counties up there are in a serious crisis to make budget or uh, because of the sales taxes has dropped over 50%. The income from the sales tax because yeah, there's
Here's
no more
Western.
money up there.
What's up, buddy?
Which
Um, By the way, I'm not talking out of my ass. I have lived in small towns. I'm not some kind of a fucking clueless big city guy or something. Like I know what I'm talking about. If you want, and I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm saying this is actually a bad thing that this has happened because it used to be once upon a time. I remember when I was a kid, the small town stationery store was a mom and pop shop. And although that particular small town stationery store does still exist, it's literally half as big as it used to be and essentially kind of a shadow of its former self. The rest of the stationery in town is literally Staples, Walmart, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas, for example, in a city like Portland, even there's a bunch of independent stationery shops that you can go to. Same thing with Los Angeles. No matter what you're talking about, taco shops, anything else, there's a lot of different
well,
independent
in
businesses.
Los Angeles, I mean, the street food culture, not just like trucks, you know, uh, basically taco shops or what's the thing where you slice the gyro meat?
Oh, Al Pastor
They
or shawarma,
yeah, but also not just all Mexican food. There's
doner kebab.
uh, but like right on the sidewalk or in the area of a mall that has 3 or 4 restaurants in it. The guy comes at 3, 4 o'clock, sets up, and always the most of those look pretty active. I mean, people. It's obviously uh, they have customers, and people are usually lying or something. But that continues to
I
grow.
always
Like down
laughed.
here, you have to have the trucks. Like if you try to just set up, they don't. I don't think there's
I
like
wonder if I can even
permits.
find it.
We're like more of a law and order up there. A lot of those guys are just doing it, and who's going to do anything about it? You know what I mean? But if you owned a restaurant in that right there, that would, I remember on the holidays, my wife used to call them scabs. She'd get pissed off at the people selling flowers, like that, that didn't have like a actual business and rent and all that. But I used to tell her, well, that's just part of it. Like you can't knock that. But scabs, they would just set up like a couple times she would drive down to them and I don't know what she thought they were going to do, but she would be like, yeah, get out of here. Yeah, it would hurt her business.
I'm trying to find this place in Burbank that I always used to drive by, and it was this Army. I don't remember where it was. I was thinking it was on Alameda, but I don't think so. When I'm looking here, Verdugo maybe. Anyway, I'd
Well,
always drive by, and like you say, basically at 4 o'clock, this guy would walk out with a big old fucking sword, and like there was this gigantic shawarma that was basically cooking by itself, essentially,
yeah.
like with charcoal or whatever. And then he would come out, and he basically, I can't remember what he did, but like there'd be all this smoke. I don't remember if he just opened the pit or whatever,
Well,
and then just he's slicing fucking meat all theatrically. It was so funny.
some of the story behind that basically is that if they had like the overhead of a actual like uh, building or spot. Uh, yeah, and then they wouldn't even make enough money to support themselves. So to have a brick and mortar, yeah, you got to have X amount of business every day just to cover that.
Hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong. Where's my freaking
But
wallet?
like in Fallbrook, there's a it's truckers. Most truckers would that ever been in this area would know. It's this place called Nessie's. That's like a real burger joint. They used to like have this weird shack that was like on the park and ride. He was grandfathered in to the park and ride, so he didn't. He was like perfect. But across the street was this empty lot with Caltrans, and it was like a truck stop. It was dirt, but there was always God knows how many truckers because they all like know about this Nessie, and it's called Nessie because the guy that owns it, I don't know if he's still alive. He was old. Goes back and forth to the lake where Loch Ness Monster is, and posts like stuff in the window of his exploits of of he's a Loch Ness guy. So his burger place is Nessie's, and they'd be lined up from the time they opened to the time they closed. I was like, yeah, this guy, he's just out in she's searching for the Loch Ness monster. That was like his thing. Like he'd spend months over there, uh, uh, selling these burgers. But the truck area dropped oil or something. Caltrans put a fence, and then the park and ride thing expired. So now he just like less than a half a mile away in this little mall that has a liquor store and a pizza place in him. Yeah, business ain't the same because the truckers don't have anywhere to park.
That dab was a little bit harsh. Hope folks hop on. I'm going to post the link again here for the last 15, 20 minutes of the show here. 20 minutes looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still here for a tiny little bit, so you're more than welcome to hop on. No garden tours. Maybe in the last couple minutes we'll show some plants, right? Just right at the last couple minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, probably no garden tours today. Please don't deliberately show any puffage of popcorn or marshmallows or any of that kind of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we
Popcorn.
definitely don't want to get reported by a specific particular guy who just doesn't like the cut of our jib.
Well, I'll
But
share this.
go ahead.
I'm in a like I've been growing a long time, 3 decades. I've had like probably like less than 10 pest battles, 3 or 4 times spider mites. Here, uh, thrips are like a kind of a seasonal thing. Like this is, but I'm also a clone horse, so I take in things. I don't usually quarantine, and my guy for years never no problem. So uh, first couple of days, I thought, oh, I'm overwatering. There's too many gnats because that's an issue with Rockwell. Uh, then uh, it was more than that, right? And I got a scope, got my glasses, and saw these little black dots on some of the weeds that grow in the crack in in the in the back area. Um, and put two, but then I took pictures and sent it to uh, Matthew Gates, and the ranch works for me. He immediately said, "Oh, I saw this at the facility I worked at, uh, aphids, right?" Which then I got the scope and really spent some time looking at what's going on. Uh, and then a week or so after that, my guy Sonny said, "Oh, yeah, look out! because something one of the clones he got from somebody had was called russet mites, which are really tiny. And I saw that when I was looking in the scope, but I thought it was like part of the aphid thrip uh thing. So now I'm well, I got a handle on it by regimenting, but reading stuff online, russet mites are not so easy to fully get rid of, and they're like hundreds of the size of
They're
a
just
mite.
tiny. Yeah, they're just super small.
But I've looked at scopes at bugs for a long time. One thing I've always noticed is the bad bugs. Uh, they're like medieval. Like when you look at them up close, 100 magnify, and see their face, and they're like they're just little bugs, but they're like mean looking. Where then predator bugs, not so much. Like I've noticed
I don't
that like
know. Cucumaris, for
bad
example, has got
bugs
a
like
pretty cruel face. I don't know.
yeah, well I mean definitely, but like more on the like
I don't know. There's too
uh,
many bugs that are that cuddly. They don't quite. They're not as fuzzy as a kitten.
no,
Was Jared from Subway a predator mug?
yeah. Well, one thing I noticed with the thrips, now that I got this good scope and aphid and now the rest of mine, their prongs or their whatever it is, arm or antenna or tongue, I'm not even sure, are
The
in
pincers.
connected to your implant, just like a tick or a flea.
Hmm.
And over the weeks, yeah, the tacoing of leaves, little pinhole, and then in the last round of flowering, yeah, flowering is like a sticky trap. So if you have and all these things, adult stage turns into some flyers.
I saw
But
that with actually an excellent grower, but he just got hit by aphids one year, and they were not root aphids. They were just I don't know,
well, I
rose
think
aphids or
it's actually
whatever.
the root
Two
aphid.
spot.
We call it that, but technically,
No,
I
they are
think
different.
I,
They are different kinds. There's the
yeah.
American root aphid, for example, it affects like it's grapes, I think,
Well, this is
primarily, but it's
weird.
spread to other plants. And then there are also like rose
Two
aphids
spot
that live
aphid.
above ground. Because no, they're
Uh,
they're different niches, bud. One lives above
Even though
ground,
I
one lives
went
below.
on the forums and seen pictures a long time ago, this $3 scope, and I got a better one too, but uh, had this little pamphlet in it, which has like
Well, okay, so let me finish my thought, please,
each
because that's completely
each of the
unrelated
main
to what I was
bugs,
talking
but
about.
like it points out that gnats have whatever less wings or more wings, like four wings, where uh, thrip has even though they look sort of like, I mean, they don't really look alike, but at first glance, it could be easy to but then it like tells you, oh yeah, six legs. It's about the legs and the wings
I think
that make the
a lot of
difference.
the aphids you see
Like
above are two
gnats only
spot.
have two wings, where thrips have four wings. Aphids have six legs. Spider
I've
mites
got
have
three.
eight legs. And
So let
little
me finish my
picture.
thought that I was talking about 5 minutes ago. Basically, that guy that got hit with aphids, the aphids thankfully did not stick to the flower itself because they were big enough basically to get stuck to like sugar leaves and whatever. It was still super disgusting. Like it was the whole thing. He wanted me to take pictures of it, even though basically there were all these aphids on there. So I did get some of these like aphid covered pictures. They were actually useful pictures, right? I posted a few of my Instagram like 3 years ago, but the flower was only really mostly useful for blowing for resin, basically, because even with trimming and stuff, there were enough like aphid wings and shit. Even though the aphids didn't really stick to the flowers much, they would like get one of their wings stuck or something. You know what I mean? Because it was a sticky trap, and so they would realize, oh fuck, I can't go any farther, but they'd lose a leg there or something. And so the flower was still covered, and not only that, it had like fucking debris, probably poop on it and stuff. So it was pretty bad. But for example, russet mites, that's the difference because I got russet mites years ago and I got it. The first that I noticed was actually the end of flower. They got all in the flower because I think they're so small that they don't really care. And they get up there and then they get stuck in a trichome or something. And so your whole flower is basically ruined because when you smoke it, it tastes fucking terrible. It's like smoking a fingernail, basically. Oh, I muted you, bud. Here, you'll have to unmute yourself. Bud, unmute yourself. You're still
Yelling isn't
muted,
gonna make me
Bud.
hear you.
Bud, you're still muted.
Hey,
I need to work on his headphones. There we go.
Getting information off the old forums from like a lot of these posts are 15 years old on Overgrowth, TH Pharma. But overall, what conclusion I came to, considering I have all three of those things pretty much in check, but it, I got a regiment. Yeah, micronized sulfur, because like spinosad works excellent on thrips. One time they're gone. But they don't. That's not effective on the other two. Uh, yeah, overall, it's and I a lot of times the last couple days before I move them into flower, I spray a light sulfur on those leaves. Most of those leaves get defoliated, and by the time the plant's done, the because even my buddy was over last night. He's like, "Dude, you got PM over everything." I'm like, "No, that's the sulfur." I'm like, when I first saw the little outbreak of the bugs, they were on the new growth, but none of them were on the leaves that were had sulfur on it. And yeah, sulfur's pretty much the easiest, cheapest, less.
Diatomaceous earth.
I don't know, like oils. You spray too much oils, that's plants don't like that. Yeah, that whatever. Only less than $10 for the powdered sulfur. That gets
I like diatomaceous earth.
bang for your buck. Now you don't spray it like during flowering, but if you do the preventative, a lot of that's just to stay on top of PM, which most of the time is because airflow and there's like the middles of the trays, certain sections, and size of the plant. The middle lower part of the plant isn't getting enough space, so it's crowded and a little PM sometimes breaks out. But if I like use the sulfur at the right before I turn them back, it gets me almost right to the end where no, when I didn't, sometimes it'd be second, third week and you'd spot it.
You can use predators, but the problem with the predators is you can't really knock down with the predators. You can only really.
Fuck your kids.
What's that?
And I used predators the last time I had.
No, like I was just looking up on Evergreen Growers. Cucumeris, Andersoni, Swirsky, all of those work on broad mites. So definitely I would get, but I mean, if you had a big garden, you'd have to spend a few $100s every week probably to really keep it up. So it's not like a super easy thing, But then there are also, I'm looking at this, it looks like PFR 97 still works on that one. PFR 97 is expensive for a bag, but it lasts a long time.
I was using the predators on the spider mites a few years ago.
Organic apparently works
seamlessly.
Oh, have you tried
you had
Bud? You can use Have you tried Pyganic?
Well, actually, I'm going to the farm supply place after the doctor to get some supplies, and that's one of them. That
Yeah,
because
get the
you got to
Pyganic.
have
Get the
a couple
Pyganic.
dogs.
It's a lot more expensive, but get the Pyganic 5.0 if you can, especially because you got a decent sized garden. That one will fucking murder the shit. The only problem is you really need to use a mask. I mean, I guess it won't kill you, so I guess you don't have to, but you
Well,
really should use a mask, and then you should leave the place for a couple hours.
yeah.
You guys
Well,
want to see some,
my
some,
We
initial
can't we
like
can't
attack
hardly hear
on
you,
them
J5. It just sounds so bad.
was like effective when I looked, but and then what I actually the last couple days I've been doing more reading. Yeah, you really got to understand a little bit or as much as you can the life cycles of each, and you got to go after it there. That's like
Take the dick out
you
your
can
mouth.
like knock out all the ones that are
J5,
alive,
Jesus fucking Christ. Your fucking audio is
but
horrible.
mute 'em.
Holy fucking
if you
shit.
don't
J5 is the
do
number
a
one
way
candidate for our Saturday fucking tech help show. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah.
Still bad?
Oh, it's just
attack the
so
life
much. Like
cycle.
we just had some mic drop sounds. It was great. It was really great.
Like right now, is it bad?
Aphids
Now
that
it's a
are
little bit
actually
better.
like
Oh
born
my God, now
pregnant.
we're getting feedback. So no, mute yourself. Holy fuck.
What the fuck? Not from me,
I
is
don't know,
it?
dude. Do you have TV on or something?
No.
That's weird. Dude, we are going to have to work on your audio. We're going to have to get a rabbi and a priest and a fucking monk from several religions to come and just bless you.
Kiss
Oh, it's
the
got two
Remove
of
the
them.
cross
It's
of
curse.
got two.
Christ.
The power
Hey,
of Christ
Kiss the
compels
cross
you.
of. Yes. Kiss the
Uh,
cross of Christ.
That's it. By the way, martial artist is saying
Oh.
Bug Lady Suzanne recommended Sufoil X. Sufoil X is my first go for everything, basically. But because I love Sufoil X, it's a so Sufoil X is essentially emulsified canola oil. It evaporates super easily. So unless you spray the absolute living fuck of something, you won't have a greasy residue. Because a lot of things when you spray, for example, even Pyganic and stuff, or neem oil, fucking neem oil, which works, by the way. I remember there's a particular guy who loves it above all things. It does actually work. It's an anti-feed and stuff, but it'll coat your environment if you use it enough.
Well, what's it
Well,
called?
let me finish my thought,
Azaractin or
bud. Fuck
something?
me. This show. You got to let
Oh, I'm
people finish
sorry.
thoughts. Sufoil X works really well and evaporates basically quite well, and it's so easy to emulsify that you barely have to shake the can and stuff to get it to spray properly. Whereas with neem, you have to constantly shake and use an emulsifier.
But
Problem is, it only kills about 97% of aphids, russet mites, things like that. So you'll need to follow it up with something else, basically. You'll
wait,
never really
wait.
get rid of everything anymore because things have just
Okay.
adapted. Go ahead, bud.
Okay. When I first neem was Einstein's, that was just really thick oil. I haven't used like a neem oil since they came up with like what's the the
Azadirachtin.
right. And my experience, that doesn't even kill 97%.
Huh.
A lot of times I would call them drunk. They'd still be
Uh,
alive, but they'd be all drunk. But
huh.
what it does do, which a lot of the other products don't, is it attacks life cycle. Like it
it's also systemic.
makes them
Hmm.
sterile or like spider mites. Yeah, that's it. It stops the because yeah, a lot of times I know this in butterfly. Insects only live a matter of days, like usually a couple weeks, 3 weeks, uh, and it's all about the uh, reproduction. And some of them crazy,
Hmm.
born pregnant.
Yep, aphids. Born pregnant with pregnant babies that are also
Yeah,
themselves pregnant. Yeah.
I
It's
had
like a
I've got
Russian
aphids right
nesting doll
now,
of terror. Yeah.
but I've also got fucking lacewing larvae and like 3 different types of ladybird fucking larvae cruising all over those plants.
And
It's
that's
pretty
the thing,
fun.
well,
if
that's
you
the
have a
thing
healthy environment, you
outside.
really don't have to worry about those kinds of things. By the
Yeah.
way, I wanted to
But
address martial artist's comment, a couple interesting things. So he mentioned the Sufoil X for russets. So I would use Sufoil X for everything, basically. Well, except for, I don't know, gout or something, right? But I would use it for every kind of pest control that you can. first, and then I would use other things second if that doesn't work or doesn't obviously fix the entire problem. For example, spider mites, you can probably get rid of them basically with Sulfoil X. Other thrips and stuff like that, Sulfoil X basically just it coats their body and keeps them from breathing and stuff. It doesn't really destroy their eggs though, so you have to either keep coming back to destroy their eggs or kill the eggs when they hatch, or use something else that will actually destroy the eggs. That's kind of the part of the problem. But
Well,
then Marshall continues. He says, sulfur did not do the trick for me. I fought them for a long time, sprayed so much so much sulfur, the plants were yellow. And my first question is, were you using micronized sulfur or were you using a different kind of sulfur? Um, excuse me, what is it like there's a couple different brands, but like what, the Safer or whatever brand of micronized sulfur, that's one of them that I use. And there's that red bag. I can't remember all the different brands, but
well,
if you get one that is
quantified, I think,
micronized,
is the good
it
one.
will kill every bug. Like it will kill every bug that there is. So if your plants were yellow, it should have done the trick. It should have murdered them. So I'm honestly curious what the story was there. And by the way, he continues, yikes, are you spraying sulfur through flower? Famously, you cannot spray sulfur through flower. Sulfur is actually good for plants, believe it or not. People are always surprised by this. They think that it's going to murder their plants or something when their plants are yellow. No, like your plants would be like super yellow and or super green and happy probably the next day when the rain comes and washes all
Some
that sulfur
terpenes
off.
need it.
They really do. And sulfur is one of the biggest compounds that creates flavor, basically, in any kind of flower weed or anything
Well,
really. They're oftentimes sulfur compounds, basically. Anyway, so long story short, sulfur oftentimes really boosts flavor and morphology. You know, the flowers will even physically look nicer. But you can really overdo it. And definitely in flower of some of the flowers that we enjoy, you would never want to use it because then the flowers will smell like ass, basically. You'll puff a fart essentially when you puff them. But I'm curious, Marshall. Tell us more, by the way. Cheers, Chaz Grows, by the way. Oh, did you see
well,
Jeff's in the house? You were talking, Bud? By the way, we're
yeah,
about a few more minutes.
spider mites, from my experience, 3, 4 times. Oh no, that's a battle. That's not. No, I used tried everything over the years. That's I, all the pests I've ever dealt with by far.
They can be really pernicious, though. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Just when
Like
you
the
think
ones that have
you got
basically
rid of them, and then like a month or so later, oh, they're back. They're
well, what you're
like,
doing is people have bred super soldiers, is what they've done, because they'll ineffectually kill the spider mites, so they'll kill 99% of the spider mites, but the ones that survived were the super soldiers that could take it, right? And
yeah.
then basically they'll have babies, and you kill them again, and it's 99%, and once again it's like fucking Sparta. You basically killed everything but the super soldiers,
And
and
one
over
thing,
and over and over again, and before you know it, you have these fucking they're like Sylvester Stallone fucking spider mites, and they're all having babies, and so that's
It's
why they're so tough to kill.
it's like
like in
stress
the
testing your
'90s,
cannabis.
we
Only the
You're
strong
never
basically
had
survive,
breeding
dude.
super
And
mites,
you're breeding
essentially what
them
you're doing.
forward, and then they're
Yeah,
that much stronger.
that's
in
it.
in the '90s when I first started. We never had any bugs, but
Cheers, folks.
our
Happy 420.
rooms were far from ideal. Uh, Too much heat, just like you know, we were dinosaur age. But then as our rooms, which become this perfect environment for the pest, were like out when I had outdoor, I would have sometimes I have plants from indoor that were in the middle of had bugs or whatever. Move them outside, no bugs. Same plant. Like the outside cleared the 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 sun, the different nature, but indoor, yeah, you create this environment. Once they get in there, uh, even all four of my split minis, we cleaned them. That's kind of one of the ways I knew I had a bigger bug problem than I first thought. Was the screens in the split minis had all that stuff in it. It regimen I call it. Oh, I went and bought new mop strings. Have sweep, change clothes, uh, multi prong. And usually, if you stay at it for a couple cycles, yep, you can get rid of.
That's the
Just
problem with
gotta,
russet mites is that you can literally have some on your shirt or on your shoes or on your sock or whatever, and you wouldn't know because they're so goddamn small. You can only see
You know,
them on magnification, you know?
I kind of feel like a dick, but those cuts I had were here by themselves, you know, were not in my possession for 2 fucking months. So I couldn't say for sure. But yeah, I knew like that cheetah piss had mites when I got back up here.
not mice, no. There's only a couple weeks. The only thing I
Okay.
had periodically
Like I
were
said, I definitely could have gotten it
thrips.
over the fucking 2 months that the person had them in their windowsill. But yeah, that
No,
plant
no,
was
no,
fucking about
no. It
ready to
just
die.
happened.
Hmm.
It came with the biker kush and these other strains.
Ah,
Actually, in that same circle, which I haven't, I've never gotten anything through this one friend, but he's in the circle. Oh, he has what do you call it? Hop Layton. That by the time he
Mm.
figured it out, it got into
he had
the
passed
rest of
it.
his. Yeah.
Oh, I got ya. Yeah, that's where the arrow cloners got me.
Hmm.
Sharing cloners, not keeping them like strain specific.
Mm.
All that water and shit spraying. Spread.
Uh,
I got that dirty cut of fucking strawberry diesel, and it fucking
Mm.
spread through my whole
I
crop.
mean, some of that is
Jesus.
why, like this, I didn't take cuts of cheetah piss after 4 years. The slaps I just got rid of. The last of that, apples, bananas, grape gap. We grew those for like 3, 4 years. Now I have my one room set with. Uh, I've only seen two of those varieties. I've I've only grown two of those once or twice before. Everything else is like new,
Hmm.
different. Which part of like having the way we had it for 4 years, yeah, because we didn't take in anything. We just worked what we had. We didn't have any risk. And
Did you
yeah,
get rid
I
of the
mean,
Sherb Crasher too? I
no,
like that plant.
I
Okay.
have that one going, and the new ones I have is Sherb Cocktail, which is Sherb into GMO, KK,
That's
which
got to be
is
fucking
some kind of Kush, DK, which is like Donkey Crunch or something,
Donkey
BK,
Kongington.
BK, which is Biker Kush, Gluttony,
That's got to
and
be.
I already got rid of the
We were.
Pinnacle.
I think we were talking about that one. Where we Freebie? Well, so what's the deal with Biker? Is it HA or is it a cross of HA? Like
Oh, that's right. We
HA
were
and.
talking about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think Karma.
So
I
is
think
that he
I
was
think
saying that's
Biker is
not? I
Karma's
always
like
thought
HA in seed form. Is
that's
what
it. We
I'm
thought it was the
guessing.
Hell's Angels OG, pretty much 100%. But he's
Yeah.
saying it's not it, right?
I don't know. I was thinking
well,
it was like Karma's fucking seed or HA worked into seed form, but I don't know. That's just a guess. Because I used
I'm
to sell
hoping
Biker Kush
something has
seeds.
Kush. I missed the Kush, not OG Kush,
Can you not hear
Kush.
me again?
The, like the Bubba, the Master,
Take the
that
dick out
piece.
your mouth.
Fuck.
I'm hoping to
Pull,
like
pull
find
the fucking mic from the back
a
of your throat,
strain
bro.
that represents Kush. I miss Kush. Just plain Kush. That's that used to be my favorite term for
You
sure.
should,
It might still
dude.
be.
I want to get some of those Bob Hemphill's fucking Master Kush. He fucking worked in the seed farm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I bet you'd find one in there.
yeah. Even the pictures.
Or just grow some Hindu Kush.
You know. But sourcing that a fucking
Yeah, that's the
true.
thing. One of these days I'm
Well,
gonna try
the
to find
reality
some.
is a lot of those
Where
don't
Bob Hemphill, you
don't
can
have
pretty
the
much rest
same
assured that
yield
it's what it says
that
it is. You know.
the current hybrids have. Like, I
Seemed
mean,
like a nice
that's
guy too. I met
kind of
him
what
in
I
California.
figure is why
Oh,
not
that's
that much of
yeah.
that's grown anymore.
Another deadhead. Go figure. Good dude.
I think I met him. Was it the other guy?
Like,
No, I'm
there's
pretty
a
sure I met him.
few strains that I would think with the legal market being whatever 8 years old or even the 215 days, 20 some years, there'd be staples. Like you could always go in and get Bubba You could always go in and get this or that.
Oh, I'm
And I
so
told
surprised when I look at
those
dispensary
are the
menus
things that
now.
aren't
It's been
there.
so like thinned out basically. Now it's all very. I have to admit it. They are oftentimes flavorful crosses. So kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because I've always said this. Like the flavor is definitely very important, but you first of all often have to get high. You know what I mean? So it's like flavor without any high is kind of useless too. But I mean I don't know. It's its own experience, I guess, right? If you're already high, I guess it'd be fine to have some more flavor. But when I look at the stuff on the menu, most of it is just kind of a 45-minute to 1 hour high. It's not all that strong. It's very flavorful in the sense of like cookies, but even then, it's basically all cookies stuff. And so I was looking, I was like, dude, this is cookies, that's cookies, the other fucking thing is cookies. Like, for someone that was, because someone was asking me, hey, could you have anything that, or do you know anything that I could buy at the local dispensary that would make me fall asleep? And so I'm looking, I'm like, oh, sure, of course I'll find something on the menu. And I'm looking on the whole fucking menu. It doesn't matter if it's top shelf or bottomless. They don't have anything that is a pure Kush, a pure Afghan, a pure Hindu of any fucking kind. It's all basically been immiserated into fucking cookies 15 different times, right? So it's like there's nothing wrong with cookies, but your entire menu cannot be that one fucking thing. It's ridiculous. So yeah,
Hey,
it's
excuse me.
stupid.
What about showing a video of we were just talking ITM and I was talking about all those different fucking bugs. I've got a 20-second clip of that they're on plants, you know.
Not today. We're gonna bore the shit out of those trolls. I do want to see
Ah.
that. We're gonna show that hopefully in the future. You just J5. You don't understand. We've been getting
No,
hit for
I
so
got you.
long that now we are deliberately fucking with those
I,
people.
I,
So
I'm
we'll
gonna
find
take you out.
ways
I'm gonna
to.
take you out there with the kit with the. Can I take you out there
And
with
I
the
want
with
to see
the
it. I do want to see it. You know,
no, but
maybe
with the captain with the.
you just cut out. All of a sudden, we lost your sound. What happened? We can't hear you now.
I was going to show my ant dicks here, but
Test.
Cheers, D. Yeah, we suddenly lost sound from you, J5. I don't know what you said. He was giving us the passwords. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we should probably cut the live stream here soon. Anyway, you know what, J5, you could show us right after we cut the live stream. Then basically the other people can bang on their own mothers. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to post a link here if you guys would like to very quickly. We're not going to hang out for that long because I have stuff to do today. But if you want to hang out after the show here for a couple of minutes, you are more than welcome to join us right now. I'll take this
I
opportunity to
might show
talk
my dick.
about Hardcore wants to show some ant dicks, but we would need a microscope to see those. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to use the coupon code GiddyUp at your favorite website online. I can't tell you. I'm not allowed to tell you what website, otherwise my show would be struck. Can't even tell you why it would be struck because that would be enough justification to strike my show. Giddy up. Except in this case, ladies and gentlemen, one word. I would heartily recommend trying some of the newly released crosses. Uranus, that's one that you can really get your hands in. What else? Squeak Cheeks, if you really think that some people, all they do is pull things straight out of their ass. Grow some Squeak Cheeks, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of cookies, that is the cookies to the Highland Thai Kerala. Obviously complete and total garbage, right? According to some people. Well, of course, they're entitled to their opinion, ladies and gentlemen. If you want the F2 of that, for example, which is just hilarious to me, pick up Strong Beef, ladies and gentlemen. You'll get a full 30 pack out of that one because it's basically plant 1, 2, and 3 females to cross the male. What's another one? The Devil's Breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. That's one that I really want people to grow because it's just so sinful. Sour Tangy to the Highland Thai Kerala. Oh my God, holy fucking shit, right? What was the other one? Oh, and then of course, don't forget the toilet brush, ladies and gentlemen. The TO to BPR. I think it's a perfect name. I think it really makes it's like the sword of Damocles or something. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, whatever. But pick up toilet brush, save yourself 40% off, and enjoy yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the panel here. I guess we're gonna wrap up, and then we're not gonna we're gonna cut the live stream, but then we're gonna listen to we're gonna watch J5's little video here as soon as we cut the live stream. I don't see
All right.
anyone joining up the room here, so I think that's gonna be a sign for us to start saying our
Here's
good afternoons.
I
the
didn't hear the last
observation.
5 minutes.
Oh, you didn't hear the
I
entire
get
last 5 minutes?
nervous,
No.
like for doctors, going to the doctor, and just about every time, right before when I'm starting to get ready, I think I should call and cancel and like make like postpone
No,
it.
I got you. You're nervous. Yeah, man. I
But
understand.
but
Yeah.
I've learned if you do that, oh, next thing you know, you're the guy they're telling, oh, our next appointment's in 3 months
Yep.
because you messed
No,
up their
because if
deal.
you're a difficult customer, they'll push you to the back. Yep, 100%. Yeah, no. Go in there, bud. We wish you all the best with luck and
Oh,
everything
it's
else, and
like,
try to.
I mean, could be worse. It's
Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
Well, that's the thing. Go in now so it doesn't get worse. Because at some point, if you just ignore it, it's like a tooth. If you don't get it fixed, if you wait long enough, then the doc's gonna say, "I'm sorry to say, but the tooth fucking rotted your
Gotta
whole
pull it
jaw, and
off.
now you're real fucked." So get in there before it gets any worse.
Now you're really hardcore.
That's it, 100%. What was I gonna say?
well, it,
Uh,
I'm
J5, did you still? So I
going.
was saying we were gonna cut the live stream, and then you could show the video off the live stream. But if you wanted, we can just do it another time.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I'm cool.
All right,
No,
so
what I
I
was
guess
trying to say
we'll
when my
cut the
shit
live
was all
stream.
fucked
Go
up.
ahead, go ahead.
No, I
You
was
say it
like,
again.
shut up, Major General, for the fucking use of the filter. And I was like, I can go show plants with the major filter. But
Go figure. That
yeah.
wasn't enough. We got reported Major General showed off his garden one time with a filter, and someone hit us on the stream.
Oh
But
no
it is what it
shit.
is.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
funny.
That was, I don't
Or
know, a
not
couple of years
funny,
ago
but
now, right?
that somebody
Oh,
would
people are
fucking.
fucking relentless. Yeah, the trolls on these
Oh.
sites are relentless, right? So like Red Setter was saying, he has enough in his life that he doesn't ever feel the need to troll, right? So my immediate response to that is, gosh, if your life is empty, find things to fill it that don't involve fucking trolling. Holy shit. 10 years from now, are you going to look back on your fond memory of trolling Fumi? Give me a fucking break, right? You're gonna forget
I
all
troll
about it, right?
Guerrero every
Those
day, but
memories are
it's
gonna
more
vanish out of your head. Build good memories.
and it's more good or whatever. It's not malicious. I just tell him he's an idiot and shit.
Who
Well,
Hardcore's mom?
that's
No,
just
Guerrero.
Oh,
that's you just trying to be funny.
I said I probably troll Guerrero, but I do it like openly and like.
but do you
I'm,
troll or are you
I'm
just kind of
kind
messing with
of,
him? Because trolling, I
No,
think,
I'll
is like
tell me.
negative,
Well, I
right?
don't know what trolling is. I guess, but I don't know.
I make fun of him pretty
guess.
bad too. Sometimes.
Yeah,
Do you? All right.
I think the word trolling
but is
means
that
that,
trolling?
you have some
But I don't know.
animosity. You're like the energy's bad. You're like
Instigating.
Oh,
Right.
he'll annoy the fuck out of me. I'll be serious sometimes, but I still like the dude. And shit,
I don't know. I stay too stoned to have that feeling, even if there's situations.
I was
that I
on the
could-
Guerrero Grove show today.
Yeah, showing off his bonsai.
You and your mom.
I just got a
Your mom was
message
on that
from
show
my
today.
dealer too. I get to go drive 10 miles an hour to go get
My
my
weed
$40
dealer.
It's my kids. It's one of my good buddies' kids. Like I remember when he was born, I was in my 20s already.
Yeah, we're fucking old, bro.
I see that J5 is using a Christmas sparkler right now, ladies and gentlemen. I hope he's enjoying it. Thanks very much, folks, for joining us. Let's say our good afternoons. Who wants to go first?
I will. I
Hardcore, you
gotta
want to do
get
it?
going.
I'll go for it, bud.
Have a good rest of the week. Keep your stick on the ice.
Yeah, man. Oh, did you hear we're going to do an audio visual help episode about an hour before the show on Saturday, if you need any help.
Saturday.
Yeah.
All right.
Right on. Who wants to go next? Oh, by the way, good luck, Bud, and
Yeah.
don't be nervous.
Okay.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah, you'll be good to go,
Yeah,
bud.
you'll be fine. They're going to tell you you're going to run
Good luck,
marathons
bud.
here
I mean,
in the near
basically,
future.
I'm 63 and have no
Don't believe
business
the hype.
being healthy, but I'm healthy. Just
Stay
a
black.
couple little things.
You're just barely older than Keanu Reeves. Of course you have business being healthy. Go for it. Hardcore, you want to be next?
Keanu Reeves wishes he was me.
Who? You mean
If
Hardcore?
that ain't evidence that
brother?
we're living in a matrix, I don't know what is,
I
bro.
don't know who you're talking about.
Peace.
Yo. Go for it, J5. Oh, he did it already. D5 or D5. D-Zombie, go for it.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in Saturday, same bat time, same bat channel. There will be no pre-show on my channel this week. We will be doing like Fumi said, the audio visual help episode before
That's it.
the show.
And
Don't forget to tune in for that if you need help. And we're not going live, I don't think, are we?
Yeah, we'll go live maybe for the first couple minutes or something
But
just
yeah,
to tell people,
to
and
let
then
you
we'll
guys
go
know.
offline so that people don't have to worry about looking stupid or
Right,
whatever. You know what I mean? So,
right.
okie
Thanks,
dokie,
thanks
artichoke.
everybody for tuning in, and like always, thanks Fumi for putting this together, and we'll
Welcome.
see you guys all on Saturday.
Right on. Cheers, Dean.
Peace.
Good to see you, buddy. Ladies and gerbils, thanks very much for watching the show. Digger in the house, good to see you, buddy. Who else in here? Western Main Man, good to see you. Dankabus Kind, of course. Who else was hanging with us? Good day, Jeff Papali. Almost missed your comment there. Good day, buddy. Polly Figs hanging with us, of course, as well. Welcome, bud. Who else was here that I didn't say? Chaz Grows, DGC Jeff hanging. Love for the Plant, of course. Martial Artist hanging with us. Who else? Old School. Cheers, Old School. Respect. Who else in here? Al Telescope Uranus. Good to see Al. Oh, I always crack up with that fucking name. Al Telescope, you realize what strain you have to get your hands dirty with, right? You realize you have to grow Uranus. Uh, we have to get Al growing Uranus, ladies and gentlemen. Al, use the coupon code GiddyUp, and we'll figure something out with beautiful Uranus. Oh, I just love that name. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for hanging with us. And as always, I have no idea what website I'm talking about. Obviously, you can use the coupon code GiddyUp, but it might be for, I don't even know, Macy's, Marshalls.com, perhaps, Home Goods. Perhaps it's for spices and cheesy carpets at Home Goods. 40% off using the coupon code GiddyUp. Or you could also use the coupon code GeFilteBitch. Or you could also use the coupon code Smash It, ladies and gentlemen. Not smashed, but smash it. Like smash it, but one word. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for hanging with us. Don't forget, of course, to be kind, be decent, be gentle, don't be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics, ladies and gentlemen. Try to do something nice for people rather than doing something terrible. Try to do something nice for yourself as well if you can. But in the meantime, folks, be a force of positive change if you can, or at least be a positive force instead of being a fucking negative Nancy or mushroom decomposing the world, ladies and gentlemen. Even then, I suppose there are beneficial mushrooms and detrimental ones. Be maybe a psilocybin instead of a fucking douchebag, right? Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for hanging. Puff some good marshmallows. I hope you puff some good marshmallows this afternoon, or some popcorn. Obviously puff some good popcorn. Other than that, thanks very much for hanging. Adios, my friends. Later, Gators, and